Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 1970 to 1971 for the 20th to 21st of October. And so we're going to start off with, let's do the curse front first, and then we go in the clockwise direction. So for those that are new, this is the Novi Put, the Gloshkovo sector. This is the western flank, northern flank, and the southern flank, something like this. So this is the Kursk front. So there's a various sector. So this the Glushkovo sector, the Russian forces are still trying to attack in the region of Novi Put. They're still trying to push the Ukrainians out. Most likely the Ukrainians have only positions around Novi Put, in this sector around here. There is information coming from the pro-Russian source that around on the 20th of October, which is 2 days ago, one and a half days ago, Ukrainian forces tried to attack and cross over to Volfino, probably coming from another side, from the western side. But it did not break through, so that did not work out. So otherwise, that's all from the Glushkovo sector. Over at the western flank, the situation remains largely similar. Russian forces are clashing with the Ukrainian forces over at Novo-Ivanovka, with Ukrainian forces geolocated to have even a tank counter-attacking Russian forces. So the major clashes is over at Novo-Ivanovka. The Russians, however, are also continuing to push out from this area, with fighting reported at Lyubimovka, Tostilok, Perovsky, as well as Zeleny Klin. And based on the latest the mapping from the pro-Ukrainian side, Russian forces is now confirmed to have captured Lyubimovka. So Lyubimovka is now confirmed to be under Russian control. Situation remains the same. We still do not have a corroboration that the Russian forces actually have any positions over in Zeleny Klin. So we just kind of have to continue to wait and see how it goes. Over at the northern flank, the main action is over in this area. According to the latest Ukrainian mapping, by Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian source, Russian forces have captured Agovka. So, based on their mapping, Russian forces have firm control all the way up to just off the forest, which means the Russian forces have basically captured everything from Agovka, Matvievka, Vetrino, Zebrilovka, and Dubrovka. Basically everything that the Ukrainians previously claimed is now under Russian control. Ukrainians probably have a strong position around this forest just off Crimea Noe. So that's the current situation around at this northern flank of the Kursk front. And over on this eastern flank, there is Russian attack over in Cherkasskoye Parashnoye. Geolocation of Ukrainian forces invalidated previous claim from Surya maps. So Ukrainian forces indeed still have positions within this area here, that the Russians did not actually capture this particular location, which looks like I don't know what this looks like. This looks like nothing to me. So over in the southern flank, the Russian forces are attacking at Plekovo. They're still fighting at Plekovo. They still have not captured it, and they are pushing Komarkov as well as Cherkasskaya Konopelka. So this remains to be the same situation for the past 48 hours. The Russians are trying to push all these areas here. So we'll just continue to monitor the situation this time. So which in general, which means that the Russians are pushing in the south. They are pushing in the west. They are also pushing in the northwest, and in the northeast. So the Russians are really pushing from all directions right now, and of course Novi Put. So we move into the Kharkiv front. So over at the Kharkiv front, we have fighting reported in the usual places. Shelling reported at Malipokori, attacking at Lipsy, and Voschansk. There's shelling reported over in Verkhnya Pisarivka. Not very important. The shellings are not exactly important. It's just the attacks that is important. And then over at the border, at the other side of the border region, the Russian Defense Ministry reported that they have attacked artillery across the border. So there's some attack, but it could be just fire attack. We're not sure, but it's definitely messing with the Ukrainian heads with this attack for sure. The Ukrainians will be like, Really? No, do we really now need to go to this place now? So that could be a case of, that kind of depression setting in. So over in the Kupiansk front, so this is the Kupiansk front. At the Kupiansk front, the Russian forces are attacking at Holubivka, Kupiansk, and Petropavlivka. Geolocation of a Russian airstrike was actually, geolocated at Khushcherivka. So generally, the action is just all along this area here. The Russians are pushing these areas. So this is going to be very, very difficult for the Ukrainians. Over the Pischany front, so Pischan, this is actually the wrong icon. I just noticed. This should be a shelling icon. So this is the Pischany front. And at the Pischany front, the Russian forces are attacking Novoosinovo, Koliniskivka, Kuliakivka, Pischany region, as well as towards Lozova. So there's nothing new regarding this area. There's no news there's no update regarding the developing situation at Kuliakivka, whether the Russians have captured more grounds or they got pushed out. We have no idea. This crossing over here, the Senkovo crossing, is definitely the one of the key things that we should be looking at right now. So over at the northern flank of the Pischany front, Sviatove front. So this is the Sviatove front. This is Sviatove. And in the northern part of the Sviatove front, other than, of course, the mentioned attack towards Lozova, shelling is reported at Novoplatinivka, and the fighting is reported at Vishneve and towards Zeleny High. Fighting is also reported at Nadia. So this is the current strategic situation over in this area. We can even call this the Borova sector, because this is the prime target eventually for the Russians to hit Borova. Similar reasoning for the attack for Kryakivka, which is to control the crossing over at Borova, this crossing. So this is the crossing that Borova controls. So we shall continue to monitor the situation around here. In the southern flank, there's fighting reported at Kryakivka and Novomihailivka, but that's about it. Over in the Kremina front, this is Kremina. This is the Kremina front. At the Kremina front, the Russian forces are attacking Novosadove, Terny, Yampolivka, Torske, towards Zarishny, and through the Serbiansky forestry. Frontline changes was noted over in the Terny region, with the Russian forces capturing some grounds around there. So which I have already covered in the frontline changes report that is already published maybe 8 to 12 hours ago. So do check that out if you just want a shorter report. But no, you already stayed here for like almost 8 minutes. Might as well stay longer, right? And watch a few more advertisements. Just joking. No. Over in the Sivas front, at the Sivas front, Russian forces are fighting in the region of Serebianka, probably just shelling. Right, fighting is reported at Bilhorivka, Velkomokanyamske, Ivanodarivka, towards Sivas and Perezny, and shelling was reported at Riznikivka. There is no location of an airstrike on Sivas, so that's generally the situation over at Sivas. As you can see, the Russians are attacking across the entire front line over the past 48 hours. So we will continue to monitor the situation in this sector. Over in the Bakhmut front, in the northern flank of the Bakhmut front, Russian forces are attacking towards Minkivka. There's an attack towards Varolubivka. So it could be, from Kalinina region. It could be from Kalinina region towards Varolubivka. There's fighting reported at Chasivya. And so that's the situation in this northern flank. Because the situation in the Kalinina region, particularly over this sector here, is currently unknown. This is a gray zone right now. We're not sure exactly what's happening. Did the Russians really push out at all? And which then they would then be able to push further out towards in the direction of Varolubivka. So this is actually mentioned by the Russian Defense Ministry. Tentatively, you can also view it as just shelling reports. But let's continue to monitor. At Chasivya, we have airstrikes being geolocated within Chasivya. So, but that's all. Over in the southern flank, we have fighting reported at Stuposhki and Priteshny, as well as Andrievka. So that's about it. Very quiet. generally speaking, I would say, because yeah, unless there's suddenly more intel drop around the Stupovsky region, then we can get shocked together, and then we'll feel shocked together, and we'll enjoy it. Over in the New York front, at the New York front, I mean enjoy in the sense that like we love pain, right? And emotional damages. So over at the New York front, we have fighting reported mainly in this sector, in the northern area. Fighting is reported at Torex, Skibinivka, in the New York region, westward towards Romanivka, as well as towards Sukabalka. So this is the current general situation around here. So there's some updates other than this more obvious one, where the Russian forces expanded westward from New York, capturing a few of the tree lines. And so there is geolocation of Russian forces attacking and entrenching themselves south of the Zabalka region, which is over here. And this Zabalka is actually a neighborhood of Torex. So because of this, I decided to decided to map in the Ukrainian claims that they still have full control over this entire settlement region. But then this will not affect the Russian mapping, because the Russian map because this is this geolocation doesn't necessarily mean that the Russians are not in the north. So we just have to put it as an overlapping, and then we will wait for more information to see whether indeed that the Russians are here or not here. So let's see how this goes. In Torex itself, the Russian forces have expanded control into the garden, into this park around here in the center of Torex. So but that's all. In the Torex region, the progress within Torex is super slow. It looks like the Ukrainians are putting a lot of effort to defend Torex and prevent it from falling. So that's it from the New York front. Over at the Pokrov front, so this is Pokrov, and this is the Pokrov front. At the Pokrov front, in the northern flank, we have fighting reported at Vozdevizhenka, Novotoretsky, to Myro-Lyubivka, and Shellings was reported at Mykolaiivka. So nothing special about this. This is just a pinning operation around here. Over in the Pokrov sector, at this sector, the Russian forces are pushing at Promin towards Minokhrad. Fighting is reported at Krasnaya, Krutia, Sukia, as well as Lysivka. So Yaya and Lysivka. So the Russians are definitely pushing in a big arrow movement like this towards Pokrov. So Ukrainian forces have retaken some grounds in the west of Krasnaya, with Ukrainian forces geolocated on this tree line, so which means that Ukrainians have retaken this position. So this could also be why there was report of fighting from the Russians at Krasnaya and Krutia, because maybe the Ukrainians have counterattacked more successfully and taken some more advanced position, and which means that the Russians are attacking this more advanced line. So we shall have to wait for more information regarding this front line. So that's it from this area. Shellings was reported at Shevchenko. So, and talking about Shevchenko, there's a chess player called Shevchenko as well, got kicked out of a chess tournament for cheating. If you're into chess. So over at Selidove, Selidove sector, the Russian forces are penetrating through the northeast into Selidove. So fighting is reported at this area, and fighting is reported at Mikhailivka region as well. There is no information about a Russian push coming from the south, and the Russians are also pushing westward from the Ukraine's region towards Novodmitrivka, as well as fighting is reported at Sukirine. So that's it for this Selidove region. We move into the south to the Khernik region. At the Khernik, this is Khernik, and at the Khernik sector, very eventful. Russian forces are really pressing the Ukrainians out, like squeezing a toothpaste. So the Russians are attacking Khernik over in Zelane Druhi, and the mapping changes from the Ukrainian mapping confirm that the Russian forces have captured Zelane Druhi. So this is a corroboration from the Ukrainian side. Of course, the Russians have already claimed it since the 5th of October, which is like 3 weeks ago. Russian forces have been geolocated in the center of Zoriane. So which means this confirms that Russians have actually captured at least half of Zoriane right now. and fighting is reported there. Fighting is also reported over at Khodakivka and the Hostre region. So you can see the toothpaste flying this way, this direction, because of all the pressure, you know, coming from all this area here. So if you don't understand what this means, this is just physics, you know. So over in the you can see that the amount of ground lost, and I want to talk about the Nevelske sector. This Nevelske, this is the Nevelske salient previously. The Ukrainians have these very weird grounds, and the Russians have now successfully complete conquest and of the entire of this Nevelske salient. So this salient is now fully gone. It's now into history. So with this latest update, you can see that the Russians have penetrated deep into Zoriane as well. There's a high chance that they indeed have captured Zoriane, and fighting would then mean that the Russians could potentially attack Khodakivka from two different directions. And with the Russians penetrating into the center of Khernik as well, this is going to put a lot of pressure, which means the Russians are pushing in this direction as well. The full confirmation of the capture of Zelane Druhi also means that the Russians can attack in a new direction towards Khernik from the east. So the entire pressure all around this area is insane. I'm not even sure how you're going to defend when the Russians are attacking from all different directions. So that's the current situation facing the Ukrainians in the Khernik sector. And we move further south. Over at Vashchenka, there is a geolocation of FPV drone strike, which means the Ukrainians are actually still holding position there. Over at the Khodakove sector, so this is Khodakove, and this is the Khodakove sector. Russian forces are, of course, already mentioned, fighting at Hostre and towards Khodakivka. They are fighting towards Khodakove as well, with geolocation confirming that the Russians have full capture of Maximilianivka, and they are now totally pushing west towards Khodakove, and the Russians are now pushing out of Georgievka and towards Dane, coming from Maximilianivka direction. So this is definitely looking like a spider right now. You can see there's a lot of legs. Actually, it looks like more like a cockroach. So anyway, the cockroach are going to take this Khodakove over here. So that's all from this area, and over in the this sector, the Konstantinivka Vodiane sector. So the Russian forces are fighting in the north of Konstantinivka, in the Konstantinivka region, Antonivka, Katerinivka, towards Yelizavetivka, in the area of Vodiane, and towards Bohofyevlenka. So basically, the entire front line is now active. The Russians are just pushing everywhere, and there is major frontline changes, which mentioned in the frontline changes report. In the north, the Russians have taken more grounds. In the north of Konstantinivka, they have been geolocated inside of Katerinivka, capturing more than half of the settlement. They have get closer to Yelizavetivka, securing the entire north and northwest of Vodiane, and they have also been geolocated to move closer and closer to Bohofyevlenka in the north of Voleda. So this is the entire situation around this sector. A lot of frontline changes. The entire front line seems to have collapsed because, yeah, this is too much frontline change for the span of 24 hours to 48 hours. A lot of geolocation in this area as well. In airstrike, this is a drone strike, and this is a drone strike. So airstrike, drone strike, drone strike. You know, the drone strike, I put a small explosion. So yeah, that's the current situation. The Russians are definitely going to go for Bohofyevlenka because capturing this will just make the entire strategic situation over here just get super complicated for the Ukrainians. So definitely the Russians want to do that. Over in this Novo-Ukrainka region, the Russian forces are fighting at Zolotaneva, fighting towards Novo-Ukrainka and towards Shatatsky. So the exact front line here is pretty gray, so we do not know the situation around here because there's not much footage coming out from here. So let's wait and see. And at the Velika Novosilka sector, there is only fighting reported towards Rivnopil. This is only for the past 24 hours. So that's all from this area. at Velika Novosilka. Over the Zaporizhia front, this is the Zaporizhia front. The fighting is mainly over at the Kayamsky sector and the Orikhiv sector. So, zooming in, we will be able to see the Russian forces are attacking at Kayamsky, Lubkove, towards Orikhiv, Robotine, as well as Malatomashka. Malatomashka seems to be one of the prime focus for the Russians because the Russians never failed to attack in this area. There's a geolocation of a guided artillery strike on a Ukrainian vehicle at this is Novodanilivka. So that's the current situation over in the Zaporizhia front over the past 48 hours. So we will move on and over at the Kherson front. At the Kherson front, there is fighting reported towards a Pridniprovsky direction, which is over here. And there is alleged fighting in the delta region of the Dnipro River. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry claimed the Russians are attacking them in the islands. There's a lot of shelling reported at Dniprovsky, Kherson, Antonivka, Mikhailsky, as well as Ivanivka. So otherwise, that's all. This front line is pretty standoff-ish. No, it's a very stalemate-ish location. So don't expect too much from the Kherson front. And that's about it. So anyway, this is the summary or the SITREP for the day of 970, for the 971, for the 20 to 21st of October. Press the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next update.